Hello, my name is Grant Fritchey. I work for Redgate Software. Today I want to talk to you about Azure Data Studio, one of my favorite topics. They've just released the February release of Azure Data Studio, and so they've done some cool stuff, a few things, and I'm going to walk you through a few of the things that you can see and then a few things that I can't demo. One of the big deals is what's coming out with SQL Server 2019. And one of the things coming out in SQL Server 2019 is all the stuff around big data. There's a whole big data management aspect of 2019 that's going to be very different than some of the things we've had in the past. And yes, I recognize saying big data is kind of like saying door. You know, what kind of door, into what, where, mounted how, locked, not locked, all the various things that are going to define whether or not this thing is a door and what type of door it is really matters. And suggesting that a hatch on a submarine, the door of a car, and the door to the bathroom are all the same thing is crazy. And the same thing goes for big data. Saying big data is almost like not saying anything at all. However, they've got the 2019 extensions are really amazing for managing large data sets. You'll want to check those out, completely independent of Azure Data Studio. Let's take a look at a few things I'm going to show you in Azure Data Studio, and then we'll come back and talk again. So this is the latest Azure Data Studio, and it doesn't really look all that different. I'm connected up to a local SQL Server instance running on Docker, and you really can't see a whole lot going on. But let's go down here to the extensions. Now I've got several extensions installed. You can see Git Lins, which is not working, by the way, Docker Explorer, which works really well, Redgate SQL Search, which of course works flawlessly, and I've got a couple of others. Now, what they've done is they've taken, I've got SQL Server Agent and I've got SQL Server Profiler, but what I don't have is SQL Server Import. What they've done is the standard plugins that you're probably going to use a lot are Agent, Profiler, and Import. And so they've taken all those extensions and made them into what's called the admin pack. And so now you install that and you've got the functionality of those other tools. And that's one thing. They've also added Profiler extended event filtering support into the Profiler tool, which I've not tested yet. So this might be an experiment in terror as we watch it now. You can also do some stuff with XML, which we're going to try out. And the one thing I'm not going to show you is that they've added the ability to do large-scale data management through SQL Server 2019 through the preview extension. But I am going to show you one little bit that they have done. So we're going to switch back to the SQL Server instance here, and we're going to hit Manage. And when that comes up, you'll see that right here is a new tab, SQL Server 2019 Preview. We click on that, and that brings up the new thing, Create External Table. So we can now add an external table through this new preview extension. It's something 2019 only, and it's a great bit of functionality. Now, the other functionality that I cannot detail at the moment is the ability to do notebook support, which I just don't know notebooks yet. The way that they're now supporting the big data cluster inside of SQL Server 2019. I can't demo that as either. Agent, I can show you what's going on inside of Agent. You can see alerts and all these other things set up, and that's easy enough to manipulate and control, and that more or less works as you would expect it to work. Now let me show you a couple of the other functionality that has been added. So we're going to go in and pick a database. We'll work off query storage because it's easy. There we go, sales order header, join, didn't quite have enough, there we go, as SOD, and so we've put together a nice little query. There we go. Nice simple query. And of course, for demos, we never, ever, ever again will use select star for demos. We will always put in some values and ensure that we've got actual values. So this is a query that we're going to run, and it's actually not going to return any data because there's no due dates greater than the current get date, so we don't want to use this. We'll just do rsod.product ID. All right, so this is just a query, and if we run this query, we can get a result set back. Now, the result sets, prior you could export as CSV, export as Excel, export as JSON, but we can now also save them as XML. So it's not simply JSON, but we're supporting XML. I don't know which of you asked for that, but honestly, do we really need that? So we use Control-Shift-P to bring up the context menu, and then we can launch Profiler. We also could use Alt-P from the context menu to launch Profiler. Either way, once Profiler is up, we can set up an extended event session using the Profiler tool. Standard on-prem, standard Azure, T-SQL on-prem. I'm just going to do standard on-prem, and then we will call it test for February. And we're going to see what the filtering looks like here. So we'll hit start, and now we're going to have Profiler running on our local instance here. So we can generate a query or two. Let's just say go 20. And that'll run that query 20 times, and then we'll see action over here. So the batches are starting and stopping, and off it goes. That's pretty neat. Filtering, right here in the center. Can't even miss it. There's the filter. Click on that, and we can add here to a clause. Awesome. Where it equals, less than, greater than, contains. Excellent. Let's say SOH dot due date. And hit apply. Oh, look at that. And it filters it all down. Nice. Very well done. Well put together. Thank you, Microsoft. And they've also resolved a number of bugs and issues. So that's all the new functionality that I can demo right now for the February 2019 release. Now, don't go away. Make sure you hit the like. Make sure you hit the subscribe. And the thing about Azure Data Studio, the point I'd like to make, in addition to the points already made, is that it is constantly growing. There's more and more stuff coming out all the time. It is not simply one thing. It is a very large set of functionality, especially when you start adding all the extensions and whatnot. By the way, I've got a video on some of the extensions, successful and failing, so you should check those out. Anyway, that's it. My name is Grant Fritchey. I work for Redgate Software.